Google Ads have had massive changes recently to the way that your ads are shown based on what people are searching for and the keywords that actually trigger your ads. So in this video, I'm going to be telling you how to target the right keywords and set them up in a way that will benefit your ad strategy and in general improve your overall campaign performance. Previously, people had so many different types of ways that they were structuring their keywords in their keyword research. They were doing things such as single keyword ad groups, which are called SKAGs. They were doing a lot of broad match targeting as well for their keywords, as well as having a bunch of different ad groups that only have slight changes on the wording based on what their campaign goals are. And that is because of the way that Google have made all their changes now and what is actually going to be triggering your keywords in your Google Ads. Now, Google's gone for more of a meaning search term now, so it's not as specific as it used to be. Sometimes now, if you have one certain keyword phrase, that if someone is searching something that has a very similar meaning, your ads can now show up even if you've tightened it using phrase or exact match. So let me show you the recent Google document that they've released on their support website and take you through some of the examples that they've used directly on their platform to show you exactly what I mean and how you need to approach your keywords moving forward. So this is a support document that's on Google's website. So this is the example that they've given on what their keyword match types now mean. So let me take you through that to give you a bit more of an understanding. So you can see at the top here that this is the example they've given for the keyword lawn mowing service. So let's go into what they've branched out into saying what a broad match is, what a phrase match is, and exact match. So if you have a lawn mowing service as your keyword that you want to actually bid for, as a broad match, ads may show on searches that relate to your keyword. Now this is, not many people use broad matches because it's very, I guess if you want to say, not relevant to a lot of the things that people are actually wanting to target. And I don't really recommend it for majority of people who are advertising. So you can see here the example that they've used that your ads can actually show up for is lawn aeration prices. Now with that, that's obviously not really relevant to lawn mowing services at all. It can be even more broad than that at times as well that I've seen with clients that I've used broad match terms. So that's kind of an example there. Now the main changes that have occurred is within phrase and exact match. So phrase match used to be a lot more tighter with the meaning and what you were able to show up for. Now they've kind of gone a bit more broad, and exact match is now a little bit more what phrase match used to be. So let me show you what I mean. So you can see here that it says ads may show on searches that include the meaning of your keyword. So that's a very key part there. So it may include the meaning of your keyword, doesn't necessarily mean it will be your keyword only that you've actually put as a phrase match. So you can see here the three examples they've given shows that you can actually show up for lawn mowing service near me, which is quite similar to lawn mowing service. So that one's actually a bit more to what phrase match used to be. But then the other two here, hire company to mow lawn and landscaping service to cut grass. So you can see here they are still very similar, but you can see that it includes the meaning of your keyword, which would be in this case lawn mowing service. So it's usually, well, I should say previously, phrase match used to be the actual phrase itself had to be within the search term, and then they can have words on the end or at the start of the phrase, like pretty much that first example, lawn mowing service near me. So that's an example of, I guess, how the old phrase match was. But then the two here is a bit more now that meaning intent-based search terms that you can now actually be eligible to show up for using phrase match, which is ones that will include the meaning of your keyword. Now exact match used to be pretty much, it would have to be searched exactly the way that you've put it into your keyword research and what you want to bid on. So for example, I guess in previously, lawn mowing service as an exact match, you would not come up, your ad won't show up unless someone searches up exactly lawn mowing service. So now it's kind of changed a little bit to, I guess, a bit more what phrase match used to be. So you can see here, yes, lawn mowing service will show up. Obviously, that's still going to be an exact match. But at the same time, you can see the second option, grass cutting service. So this is because, as you can see in this section, ads may show on searches that are the same meaning as your keyword. So again, it's a bit more meaning based now in terms of the results that would come up and what your ads are eligible for. So that is now the keyword match types that Google has explained directly on their website. So you can see, based on what I've just shown you on the Google support article that's talking to you about all the different keyword match types and the way they're approaching it moving forward, that they're a lot more meaning-based match types now rather than, very specific on the actual wording that you're using. So keep that in mind, because when you're now doing your keyword research and planning, understand that when you put phrase match, for example, that things that have a similar meaning or include that meaning, your ads will still be showing up for them because Google's now implemented that for their phrase match. And that's the same thing with exact match. So make sure that you're now aware of the new way that they're approaching their keyword match types and how your ads can actually start to show up for the keywords. And that way you can take that into account when you're doing all of your keyword planning. Now I want to show you an example of how I would actually do my keyword planning and how I would put them into an ad group now. So let me jump back over to my laptop and show you exactly how I would do that. Okay, now I've just jumped into the Google Ads Keyword Planner, which if you're not sure how to get to that page, you just go up into Tools and Settings, and then you go to Keyword Planner, and that will take you to this page here. So essentially I've put in a couple of keywords that I want to target. This is based off my business, which is a Google Ads agency. So I've put in I'll put 3 keywords in. So Google Ads agency, Google Ads management, and Google marketing agency, as well as my website, to kind of go through some of relevant keywords as well. Now, when you hit get results, these are some of the results that come up, and I want to give you an example in terms of what you would now include in your keyword research to actually start to bid on, as a comparison to maybe what I used to do previously. So you can see here, Google Ads agency is obviously what I've put in. So that's one of the highest average monthly searches. This is for Australia. So this is within the whole country. And then you can see agency, Google Ads, Google Campaign Manager, Google AdWords Manager, and so on and so forth. So what I would do here is I would only add probably about 4 or 5 keywords that have a very similar meaning to each other, that have kind of the same theme. So that's what you want to start to aim for now with your keyword planning, is the actual theme that you're going for. So in this instance, for example, for this ad group, I want to target the theme of my service. So what I would do is I would go in, pick the few keywords that obviously have high average monthly searches, and I'll go into depth about how I do my keyword planning in a future video. But for this example, I'm just going to pick 4 or 5 keywords that have been given to me from this list that's been provided that have the same theme, and then I will put them into an ad group. So let me show you what keywords I actually put into an ad group now. But out of the list that was given to me with the keyword planner, I selected 4 different keywords, which you can see here. So Google Ads Agency, Google Ads Management, Google Marketing Agency, and Google Advertising Company. Now you can see there that they're all actually across the same theme, and I've put them all as a phrase match. Me personally, I don't want to target any broad match keywords because it's going to start bidding on a lot of search terms that are not really relevant to what I'm offering. And I wouldn't recommend anyone who has an average moderate budget to actually do that, unless you're really wanting to just test what the market has out there that have some sort of small relevance to broad match. Then and you don't care about the budget spend, then obviously you can start to test out some broad matches. But for the majority of you, phrase and exact match is what you would definitely be going for. So for this example, I've selected the 4 keywords here that I felt are the most relevant, but stayed within the same theme. So another example that I wouldn't put in here is, let's say I also did landing pages. I wouldn't put landing page management or landing page creation in this ad group. That is when I will start to split it into its own ad groups. Previously, what a lot of people used to do with the phrase matches and the ad group splitting that they used to do, they used to be very specific with their ad groups. They would, for example, take this keyword, Google Ads Agency and Google Ads Management, and actually separate them into different ad groups. That was what was done previously because they wanted to be very specific with the wording, and each ad group will have its very specific meanings and keywords that we're going for. But now, because Google is picking up on now that Google's picking up pretty much on its more meaning-based keywords, all these 4 keywords that I've listed just here pretty much have a very similar meaning and are, relevant enough to be in one ad group. When you start to separate into a separate category completely of a different service that you might have, that's when you'll break it up into another ad group or another search campaign in general if you want to have a separate budget for that. So just like I've just shown you, in your ad groups, you don't need to have so many different keywords anymore. You can have about 4 or 5 keywords that have the same theme and a very similar meaning to each other, because that is what Google will trigger for your ads based on those phrase and exact matches, and if you're going to use broad match, based on that as well. So make sure you're not building out 10 to 15 ad groups anymore. Pick 3 different themes that you want to go for in your search campaign, and then pick about 4 or 5 keywords within those ad groups to start off with that have a similar theme, and then start to include more keywords as you start to see more search term reporting the longer your campaign goes on. So like I said, stay tight with your ad groups, keep them around 3, and then build in the keywords within those ad groups. As long as they're based on the same theme and similar meaning, you should be alright based on what now Google has told us. So as you can see, there's heaps of changes that have been made now with the way Google approaches their keywords for your ad campaigns. So just make sure you're aware of them when you're doing your planning for your next campaign that you want to launch, or if you currently have an existing one, you can go in and make some edits and tweaks based on what you've just learned. Also, one thing I want to mention is if you do want to make sure your campaign is performing exactly the way it should be and to the standard that you're expecting, make sure to check out my optimization checklist that I've recently set up, so that way you can understand exactly what you need to continuously optimize, what certain tasks you need to do for your campaign, and how often you need to do them as well. The optimization checklist that I've created is very specific. It breaks everything down into each different categories and sections within your Google Ads account and campaign. And that way you'll know exactly how you can start to make changes and improve your overall structure. So if you'd like to check that out, the link will be down below, and then you can get the optimization checklist completely free, and then you can use it for your campaigns as well. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.